Let's talk about the tropics, guys. We still have one out there, Hurricane Jose. Barely a hurricane this morning and not looking all that impressive there on satellite imagery, but it is a Category 1 storm as we speak, 75-mile-an-hour winds. You need 74-mile-an-hour or stronger, so just barely that Category 1. But we've been talking about how weird and unusual this track has been as the system meanders out there in the open Atlantic, eventually weakens a little bit, and then takes a turn north. But some of the models from overnight say, hey, you know, maybe in the long term here, it goes off to the north and east and then tries to retrograde or move backwards towards the east coast. So this is going to bear watching, although it's not a very formidable storm. It's still a hurricane right now and still a tropical storm. So we take all of those seriously and watch them very closely. Here closer to home, we're just watching a warm front moving through, and that's going to unleash a push of very warm and humid air today. In fact, some spots up to around 90 degrees. You factor in that humidity, feeling more like the beginning of August rather than the middle of September. And we keep that unseasonably warm air around right through, say, Friday and into Saturday, and we'll keep a close eye on where Jose goes well into next week, probably the middle to end of next week. We'll watch it there. All right, live radar. We had a few showers earlier this morning as we put it in motion. The last 2 hours, the last remaining ones are up over towards the northern parts of the eastern shore in Virginia, and that's really about it. That's going to clear and give way off to the north, and that's going to lead to clearing skies and a lot of sunshine today and warmer temperatures. Already warm and muggy out there with a temperature of 74, a dew point not too far behind. So we are seeing a few areas of fog out there, particularly to the south. Drop to a quarter mile now in Ahoskie, 1.75 miles in Edenton, and 3/4 of a mile in Elizabeth City. So keep that in mind there if you're heading out in the next hour, hour and a half. Here's how it looks on Futurecast. Starting off with those clouds and fog, that gives way to clearing skies and a really nice afternoon and evening. Temperatures topping out in the middle to upper 80s. Tonight we do roll in a few more clouds, especially by early tomorrow, and we run that shower chance again, maybe a rumble of thunder as well. Temperatures still very warm tomorrow in the lower to middle 80s, and overnight lows really muggy too, in the upper 60s and low 70s, so not the greatest sleeping weather. 89 out there today, an isolated morning shower, unseasonably warm and humid. And then tonight we drop back to 71 under mostly clear skies, warm and muggy. Here's your 7-day forecast. We keep the 80s around through the upcoming weekend. We get closer to average though, which is 80 this time of the year through the weekend. A lot of clouds as well as we keep a close eye on what happens with Jose as we get into next week. No reason for concern right now. Most likely heads out to sea, but certainly always got to keep a close eye on those sort of things. We'll talk more about that as we get closer.